you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. So happy Monday. We're going to hang out and go through some court documents. You guys know the other day we started going through the judge's order in Leticia's case against Kansas State Prisons, Kansas Department of Corrections to be exact. But Leticia has already responded. So I'm hoping that we can try to kind of quickly make our way through the rest of the judge's order. A lot of it seems to be a little bit repetitive anyways, and get into her response. It's very long. I don't think we'll get through it all tonight. She wrote a ton, and I'm going to stop and say hello to you guys, but let me just show you kind of what I mean. So this is her response, and most of it is handwritten, and I believe, to me, it seems like it's more so her response to the Martinez report, and I think it's going to be really interesting. So I'm excited to do that with you guys. We do have to kind of finish through the judge's order, and yeah, we're just going to hang out and try to make it as far as we can. Thank you to Melissa Jade for sending everyone over. I appreciate that. That's super freaking sweet, and I really do appreciate it. Okay. So, hey, Megan. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Manny. Hey, Tell the Truth. Hey, Nene. Hey, Lisa. Miss Melissa Jade. Hey, Nana Banana. Hippie Chick. Teacup. Let me see. Roro. I was about to say hello to you for the second time, Michelle, already. Hey, Carol. Tell the Truth. Poor Linda. Beach Lover. Chezzy. Lace Lemons. Mayla's mom. Hey, MK. Hey, Lil Red. Special shout out to Lil Red. Thank you for always making sure that we can stay on top of this. She keeps a really close eye on the filings in this case, and it means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Hey, Janice. Hey, Lariah. Artemis, Sparkles, Girls, Nana, Roro, in case I didn't say hi. I think I did, but I start to double up on some of you guys. Shauna, thank you for being a member for 13 months. Love you, the channel, and the community. I love you guys back, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, let me bring Bendy up, see what she's up to. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
What are you doing? Oh, nothing, Same old, same old. What you up to?
Nothing. Just excited to feel decent enough to be here. I've been really just, I don't know. I've been moody, and I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like it's really hard to make myself go live, even though once I get here, I really enjoy hanging out with all you guys and talking and stuff so much, and it turns my mood around. But yeah, so I'm just happy to be in a really good mood and excited to kind of go through this with you guys and getting ready for some visitors that are coming tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. So
now, hold on a second. How exciting. Hi, you guys. Hi, everybody in the chat. Good to see everybody here.
Victoria, thank you. That means a lot to me. Well, you guys, you guys mean a lot to me. I never want you to ever go one day without knowing how much I really do appreciate you guys. Also, I'm going to drop the link to Melissa's channel and Bendy's too, but Jen's channel is in the description. If you haven't checked out their channels and any other channels that we drop, I definitely recommend checking them out. I'm going to try to I'll try to be the one that does the channels. So the mods, you guys can just I'll drop the Nightbot commands. And so we're not all doing it multiple times. And then, yeah. Oh, great. You guys are sweet. Well, Bendy, so we have, I'm hoping, okay, how do you feel about this? We still have half of the judge's order to get through, but a lot of it is repetitive. I feel like we can kind of not have to read every single word, but still go through it so we can get to Leticia's. What do you think about that?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So, hey, Mia. Oh, my God, I've missed y'all. I'm currently. Oh, no, Mia. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better.
Oh, no.
Hey, Carolina. Okay. So I guess I'll go ahead and get started. We're on count 3. Now, remember, you guys, we have Leticia's claims that we've went through, and I have a playlist for the lawsuit and every live we've done going through paperwork, because there's a lot of it, but a lot of it is kind of repetitive, like I said. So the judge, we have Leticia's claims. The court asked the prison to do a Martinez report, which we went through that. You guys know that's when they detailed all of her claims, and then they had a rebuttal for each claim to explain what was actually going on. Then after that was put in, then now we're at the judge's order, memorandum and order regarding that stuff. And then after this, we have Leticia's response, which Lil Red says it's juicy. I kind of scanned through it. That's usually what I do. I won't read each and every part. But yeah, I'm excited to get to that. So
let's do it.
All right. All right. Let's see. So we're on count 3, medical care. So it says, plaintiff also alleges deliberate indifference regarding her medical care in count 2. She claims there is an increasing risk that her hand will never be restored to its full usefulness. That's a quote from her. She claims, quote, there is an increasing risk that her hand will never be restored to its full usefulness, unquote.
Which hand is this again?
Hold on, it's about to tell us, I think.
Oh, okay.
Plaintiff alleges that her right hand was injured by staff, and she was told by medical that she could not receive any treatment beyond talking to the doctor in January. She alleges she has, quote, potential permanent nerve damage in her right hand, unquote. I know. Oh my God. It makes you want to pull your hair out, but I love the way that they have an answer for everything that, and it's almost like, tell me if you feel this way, Jen, see how he keeps quoting her. It's like he's like, you are an idiot. And he's putting the most idiotic quotes in here to respond to.
Yes. So basically what the judge is doing, this is what I would do if I were a judge. If I'd have made it all the way through college, then law school, then was a lawyer, and then got elected as a judge, this is how I would be. I would read you for filth in legalese while quoting your own words. That's exactly how I would do it. So yes. I don't know who this judge is, but I like you.
We like you. We like the way you're doing things. Nurse Kristen, thank you for being a member for 9 months. She said, time has flown by. I love this community. And then Preschool Granny said, time flies. And thank you for being a member 14 months. It's crazy because it really
my mic might be too low.
Well, I wonder if I'm turned up because you sound good to me. I might be too loud.
Well, somebody said my mic is low. There it goes. You can tell whenever you can look at your little avatar and see, the bigger the circle around it when you speak, the louder you are.
Okay. Well, mine was not on automatic. I turned it. It was up all the way, so I turned it down to automatic. Hopefully that kind of balances out.
I don't know. You sounded fine to me, but I am a little bit quiet tonight.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm fine.
Okay. Anala. I don't know. I hope can you let me know how to pronounce your name? What a beautiful name.
It is beautiful.
Love Allie, Jen Lou, and MJ's channels. That's so sweet. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I haven't been doing much on my channel. I need to get back to doing
Thank you for rejoining, Nana. Well, Bindi, I was going to ask you that. Kind of when is your next live?
I don't know. You guys. I will be alive at some point. I don't know when it will be.
Okay.
I need to do something on Patreon though.
Well, we'll be there when you do.
Thank you, babe. I appreciate that.
Okay. So
the
judge goes on to say, as the court found in the MOSC, I guess that's the Supreme Court. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Plaintiff claims that she was leaving aerobics. Her hand was hanging out of the door, and the staff member slammed the door on her right ring finger. The court found that the plaintiff acknowledged that she received medical care for her finger, but argued that the facility failed to show its own policy. failed to follow its own policy for reporting the incident. Now she claims she has an increased risk that her hand will never be restored to its full usefulness. She claims that this constitutes deliberate indifference by Centurion because, quote, it is a policy of the contractor to provide treatment that is below the basic level of standard of care, unquote. Plaintiff alleges that she was told by quote unquote medical that she could not receive any treatment beyond talking to the doctor in January. She claims Centurion is indifferent because they, quote, say they cannot provide any treatment to restore mobility, assist with nerve damage, and the sharp pains and swelling, unquote.
Okay. First of all, let me just explain to everybody what would be necessary to fix nerve damage. You need a neurosurgeon. Okay. You would, if it were something like, if it were more serious than this, would they maybe, I mean, yeah, if it was absolutely necessary, they would employ a neurosurgeon, but neurosurgeons, are incredibly busy, are incredibly expensive. And I mean, what is it that you can't do, Tisha? What are you having trouble with? You can't put your fingers around a spoon or a fork and lift it to your mouth. What are you really missing out on coming from aerobics?
You can't wash your hair. Hey, grub.
Well, you don't even wash your hair any damn way, and you got another hand for that. Also, Jane Fonda over here at your aerobics. Come on, Leticia. It's not indifference. Indifference would have been if they did nothing for you. Indifference would have been if they looked at it and your hand was smashed to bits, right? And they told you to put dirt on it or walk it off. Okay? That would be indifference. Did you get some medical treatment? Yes. Are you fine? Yes. Aren't you a right-hander anyways? The universe that's your punishment.
Deliberate indifference is to serious medical needs of prisoners constitutes the unnecessary and wanton infliction of pain, is what they wrote in here.
Yeah, none of that happened, Tisha.
The inmate must show the presence of a serious medical need, and a serious medical need includes one that has been diagnosed by a physician as mandating treatment, or one that is so obvious that even a layperson would easily recognize the necessity for a doctor's attention.
Right. Like, I don't know, the burns that you say Gannon sustained, like that. That was deliberate indifference.
Yeah, that needed serious medical attention. And diagnosing yourself with severe permanent nerve damage.
Correct. I mean, if the fire was, as you say, and you had to do all of the things that you said you had to do, you know what I just remembered, and I noticed this was not in any of the exchanges between anybody that was talking to Leticia about this fire. Nobody asked about smoke damage to Gannon's lungs. If he were on fire, the blanket that he was on fire, he would have smoke damage to his lungs. It's not that hard it doesn't take much to damage your lungs. And the fact that she didn't even take him for medical care after that is also that constitutes, even a layperson. Hi, I'm a layperson. Know that if a child or a human being has been in a fire of any sort, they need to go to the doctor and get checked out.
Yeah. Yep. And now you're complaining that your hand got smashed, and they did check you out, but just not to you weren't satisfied, but you're in prison. I mean,
right. Did it stop you from going to aerobics, Jane Fonda? No. Shut up, Tisha.
Shut up, Tisha. The court found in the memorandum and order that plaintiff failed to show that a named defendant disregarded an excessive risk to her health or safety, or that they were both aware of facts from which the inference could be drawn that a substantial risk of serious harm existed. Let's see. Then they get into just a bunch of, case law.
Yeah.
The court found the plaintiff failed to state a claim against Centurion regarding her medical care. Her allegation that the relevant policy is Centurion's substandard care fails to show the type of policy warranting imposition of liability. She has failed to allege a formal statement by the company or a persistent, well-settled practice. Therefore, the court dismissed her claims against Centurion. Likewise, plaintiff's medical claim in count 2 is dismissed.
Dismissed.
Boom.
Boom.
That's funny. Excuse me for coughing in the
Oh, her name is Angela. It's pronounced Angela. Her dad spelt it almost phonetically. She
Oh
said,
my God. That is freaking beautiful.
I love it.
Angela. Oh my gosh, Angela. What a beautiful name you have. Awesome dad. Hey, Tess. Okay, so now we're on to the essay, which I'm happy this is being addressed because I feel like we really haven't, like after she first alleged it, we didn't really hear much of nothing about it in the Martinez report, did we?
Yes, we did.
Wow.
Basically, what they said in their answer was in the Martinez report that all of not the essay itself, everything after that, like she, the things that she cited that were retribution for filing a PREA assault claim didn't happen because essentially they went beyond what they were required to do in having a 30, 60, 90, and I think 120 day meeting with her, and most of them she either didn't attend, she attended a couple, walked out of one, and didn't attend a couple. So
Sarah said she was uncooperative.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why I'm feeling like that.
You have to block out a lot that happens with Leticia. Otherwise, it just messes with your head.
True. That is true. Okay, so now on to the essay. Jen, let me know if Crystal responds and I miss it.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay. So plaintiff also raises an Eighth Amendment claim in count 2 based on an alleged sexual assault occurring at Topeka Correctional Facility. The 10th Circuit has, quote, expressly acknowledged that an inmate has a constitutional right to be secure in her bodily integrity and free from attack by prison guards. A plaintiff's deprivations resulting from an essay are sufficiently serious to constitute a violation under the Eighth Amendment, unquote. Plaintiff claims she was sexually harassed by C.O. Dietrich in August of 2023, and then she was sexually assaulted by Dietrich on 2 separate occasions in October. She alleges that she informed defendants Chavez, Hook, and Zmuda of the abuse through the emergency grievance procedures, and they failed to act on the abuse and forced her to stay around her abuser. Yep.
She answered. She said, "Hi, girls. She's doing really good. Lots of bruising, but tickled. XOXO."
Oh, thank you, Bendy.
You're welcome, babe. That's awesome news, Crystal.
Yes.
Okay, sorry for interrupting.
No, I'm glad you did. I didn't want to miss that because, there are times when there are things I want to know, and I'll do this and don't even realize it. I might ask a question, and then I don't catch the response, and then later I'll think about it and be like, "Damn it!" You know what I mean?
Okay, well, I got you.
Okay, thank you, and I got you
welcome.
back.
All right.
Okay, so these allegations are not addressed in the report, and the court finds that these claims survive screening. Plaintiff also, what does that mean?
Okay, so to me, what it sounds like, now remember, you guys, I'm not an attorney. I just do read a lot of this stuff quite frequently, and I've learned some things. They did not directly address in the Martinez report this whole situation, and because they didn't, I think that the judge is saying that this is this might have some merit.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's
yes.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I think that he's saying.
Wow. All right. Plaintiff also claims that she was subjected to retaliation after reporting the essay. Quote, it is well established that an act in retaliation for the exercise of a constitutionally protected right is actionable under U.S. Supreme Court Section 1983, even if the act, when taken for a different reason, would have been proper, unquote. The 10th Circuit has held that government retaliation against the plaintiff for exercising his or her First Amendment rights may be shown by proving the following elements. 1. The plaintiff was engaged in constitutionally protected activity. 2. The defendant's action caused the plaintiff to suffer an injury that would chill a person of ordinary firmness from continuing to engage in that activity. And 3, that the defendant's adverse action was substantially motivated as a response to the plaintiff's exercise of constitutionally protected conduct. He goes on to say, however, an inmate, quote, claiming retaliation must allege specific facts showing retaliation because of the exercise of the prisoner's constitutional rights, unquote. Thus, for this type of claim, it is imperative that the plaintiff's pleading be factual and not conclusory. Mere allegations of constitutional retaliation will not suffice. To prevail, a prisoner must show that the challenged actions would not have occurred but for a retaliatory motive. Plaintiff alleges she made a PREA report and her job as a porter was taken away in retaliation for reporting the harassment and assault alleged in count 2. She alleges she did not go to work on the day of the PREA investigation and was given a disciplinary report for failure to go to work, even though she was told not to go because of the investigation. She alleges the DR was dismissed and she was found not guilty. Valerie Watts, the PREA complaint manager, provides in her declaration that after she received the PREA complaint on December 4th, she met with Leticia for the initial retaliation monitoring meeting. She received I remember this now from her Valerie Watts statement or whatever. Plaintiff received a DR for not reporting to work for her job as porter on December 12th, and she claims the DR, which resulted in the loss of her job, was in retaliation. She was found not guilty because she was participating in a religious holiday. Warden Hook's response to her grievance on the issue states that your loss of your recreational porter job was part of a DR, regardless of if it was dismissed or not. You cannot grieve it using the grievance process or procedure. I realize that you are not grieving the DR. You are stating that it was retaliation from Holviera as she fired you for being involved in Jewish practices of observing prayer times and Hanukkah. You filed a change of religion form on October the 9th, changing your religion to Christian, and there were no rituals of Hanukkah openly scheduled that you would have been participating in at the facility occurring the week of the 7th through the 15th. PREA coordinator Ms. Watts has been meeting with you for retaliation monitoring for 3 months. You met with her on December 4th, January 8th, February 9th, and after speaking to her, she stated that this issue was investigated and determined not to be retaliation, but that you were removed from your job based on identified risk as well as the safety and security of the resident staff and overall facility. Damn.
Jeez.
Listen to this, Jen. So plaintiff has not shown that the DR and the loss of the job would not have occurred except for a retaliatory motive. Plaintiff was found not guilty at the hearing, and the warden's response indicates that plaintiff was removed from her job based on identified risk as well as safety and security concerns. Plaintiff should respond to the report and show good cause why her retaliation claim should not be dismissed for failure to state a claim. So they didn't throw that one out.
No, not all the way.
Yeah.
This is what's interesting to me about Leticia. We've listened to countless calls and video visits with her, and she can give details to certain events that, borderline minutia. Okay. And I interestingly, that is what's required here. Yet she's not specific. And this is the thing that Sarah needs to understand, Sarah Boone and Leticia needs to understand. If you want to go forward in the legal process and you want to represent yourself, you have to give every single detail. You
Right.
cannot just say this was retaliatory because I said I was practicing Hanukkah and it happened after I filed a PREA complaint. You have to cite exactly why it's retaliatory. You have to be very, very specific.
Yeah. And the specifics matter in something
Yes.
this serious.
Exactly.
Lil Red says, I do believe in the end it will all be thrown out. Well, I think that they're being fair to her.
Right. They are being fair to her. And I will say this. I understand that it's Leticia, and we all pretty much feel the same way about Leticia. But SA is something very different, and that should be looked into.
I agree.
She's there to be punished.
Yep.
Not assaulted.
I completely agree. So the next count is regarding her safety, and she alleges in count 2 she has the right to be reasonably safe. She claims she is not attempting to dictate where she is housed, but she has the right to be reasonably safe and similarly situated. She then claims defendants disregarded an excessive risk of serious harm by housing her around, quote, institutional violent offenders.
Leticia, you are a violent offender.
Oh my God. Yeah. So you might be housed with them. If you didn't want to be, you shouldn't have done what you did. Oh.
I know. And Janice, I agree with you. Janice said, but how many times has Leticia accused somebody of that? Just like her husband's boss. You're right.
True.
And making up stories like that does nothing but set victims back, true victims back, because but at the same time, it should be investigated, and it should be investigated properly, which seems from what Allie's been reading and what we've been reading for the most part with this whole lawsuit, that it has been. That's all I'm advocating for, is that it should be investigated. And if it's been investigated and it's found that it didn't happen, then it's found that it didn't happen.
Well, yeah. And I think we know that these things do happen to prisoners. And so I'm glad that they look into it. You're right, though. It sets every person back who it's actually happened to if it's a lie. But, let's get the details and then decide about that. For me,
exactly.
When someone has a history of it, though, you just, it's hard.
It's hard. It is hard. I mean, look, I was skeptical, and I said, they'll investigate it and we'll find out. But I mean, this does happen. Like Pamela Smart. Remember back in that you probably don't, Allie, because you're just a little kid when this happened, but pictures came out of her at the prison, and they were risque pictures, as it were. Well, later down the line, she alleged that those pictures were not something that she was wanting to do, but was forced to do. And at the time, I was, I don't know, like maybe 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there. So I didn't quite understand all of the nuances. But then when I went back and I've watched like documentaries, I'm not saying that Pamela Smart is innocent. There's a different, when you really look at those pictures, they don't look the same as the pictures that she gave Billy when she was in her bikini. They are not the same look on her face. And so she is in that scenario, because of her crime, and she is a target. So, I mean,
we've seen from Leticia's jail records how many people wanted to be violent with her. But yeah, I
Exactly.
don't have any clue about the Pamela Smart thing. I don't know what that is, but send it to me and I'll look at it though, because that
Okay, dokie.
makes me interested. Crystal said I had to rewind so Brooke could, I think, hear you guys ask about her. Now I got to worry about a permagrin. Brooke, we're sending you
Aw.
so much love, and I hope that you get lots of yummy treats and spoiled rotten.
Absolutely. And I hope you feel better soon. And yes, lots of yummy treats, lots of snacks, and spoiled, 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 rotten.
Yes.
Waited on hand and foot.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so Tisha's mad she's being housed around institutional violent offenders. She claims a constitutional violation, quote, where prison officials placed a prisoner in a situation of danger from others who are known to be aggressive and institutionally violent, unquote. She argues that she is, quote, not similarly situated as she is a class of one being treated differently, unquote. And this issue has led to serious disruption in her everyday prison life as symptoms increase, disturbing her functioning. All right, let me see here. Whoa, what did I do? There we go. The unfortunate reality is that threats between inmates are common and do not, under all circumstances, serve to impute actual knowledge of a substantial risk of harm. And that's from another case, from case law. It also goes on to say subjective awareness of only some risk of harm to a prisoner is insufficient for a deliberate indifference claim, unquote. And then officials must possess enough details about a threat to enable them to conclude that it presents a strong likelihood of injury, not a mere possibility. As the court found in the memorandum in order, quote, plaintiff alleges that she is housed around institutionally violent inmates, but fails to allege that she relayed any specific threats to defendants or that defendants were aware of a strong likelihood of injury to her. Even though she insists this is a safety issue and she is not arguing about her housing assignment, she has not shown any threat towards her personally or any failure to protect her from other inmates near her. Instead, her argument is no different than an argument that she should be housed around nonviolent inmates, which is an argument about her security, classification, and housing assignment. The court held in the memorandum in order that the plaintiff has not shown that her assignment imposed any atypical or significant hardship in relation to the ordinary incidents of prison life. She does not have a constitutional right to dictate where she is housed, whether it is which facility or which classification within a facility. Let's see. She alleges she's the only individual who is not a disciplinary issue that cannot participate in programs, classes, or anything at the prison. Let's see. She says that males are able to do stuff she's not allowed to do.
How do you even know this, Leticia? How do you know what the males are allowed to do? They keep the men and this isn't jail. This is prison. They keep the men and the women separate. This fool.
And she doesn't ever say exactly like what,
She cites no specifics.
Yeah, she does not identify any program or class she was denied from participating in.
Exactly. And the fact of the matter is this, okay? She, again, hasn't said anything specific. For example, inmate number blankety blank, 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 blank threatened me on such and such date at such and such time, and here is the threat. And I told prison officials about it, and they did nothing. I made them aware, and nothing has happened. She doesn't want to be, she's acting like she is there on a nonviolent charge, say a DRUG offense, right? And she's being housed with people who are murderers. And that's not the situation. She's classified with and hanging and being housed with the people who have committed similar crimes. Period. The end. Shut up, Tisha.
Yep. And that's exactly what happens. Surprisingly, they didn't throw it out. They said she should show good cause why her failure to protect an equal protection claim should not be dismissed.
Right. And they're not going to throw that out. And I'll tell you why. Because Letecia Stauch is a high profile inmate. And so they're going to give her an opportunity. They're going to err on the side of caution and give her an opportunity to prove her case. And she'll be able to cite something specific or she won't.
Yep. Well, we're about to find out. So her next is about freedom of religion. I'm just going to try to get to the end of what they said. They said, plaintiff has not alleged sufficient facts to show that female, wait a minute. It's about freedom of religion. Okay, the report provides that residents are not able to choose more than one religion affiliation. The Department of Corrections Internal Management Policy and Procedure states that it implies department-wide. The IMPP refers to residents without a distinction between male and female inmates. Plaintiff has not alleged sufficient facts to show that females were treated differently. She should show good cause while her equal protection claim in count 3 should not be dismissed for failure to state a claim. Then the retaliation count. And we know what she alleged, so I'm not going to read through every part of that. Maybe I can have these like on my free tier on Patreon so people that want to look at them can look at them. Or
yeah, there you go.
How could I do that? Just do it like to a Google Drive maybe, or
yeah, put it upload it to a Google Drive with only those on there.
Yeah.
Right. And then give the link in Patreon.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll do it on the free tab, you guys. So if you're interested, just sign up to Patreon under the free tier and you can, take a look at them. There are a couple other different court cases, like things like that over there that weren't necessarily appropriate for here. But okay, so plaintiff's conclusory allegations that her transfer from Colorado to Kansas was retaliatory fails to state a claim. She was transferred after expressing concerns for her safety due to her high-profile criminal case. She has failed to show that the transfer would not have occurred but for a retaliatory motive. She should show good cause why her retaliation claim based on her transfer to Kansas should not be dismissed. And then,
this is ridiculous. Leticia, I'm sure her argument is that because she's suing El Paso County Jail and Wellpath and all them, that they moved, or at the time was suing them, that they moved her to Kansas in an effort to make it even harder for her to represent herself in a pro se litigation against El Paso County. Shut up, Tisha.
Well, okay. And then I guess she had filed a motion to reconsider a few things. They said, no, they're not going to do that. To obtain a preliminary injunction, you must demonstrate 4 things: the likelihood of success on the merits, a likelihood that the movement will suffer irreparable harm in the absence of preliminary relief, that the balance of the equities tip in the movement's favor, and the injunction is in the public interest. In denying, they basically said she didn't do that. She didn't do any of that. She hasn't proved it, so they're not going to reconsider that, basically. And it is therefore ordered by the court, the plaintiff's motion to reconsider, is granted. Nothing in the plaintiff's motion, hold on. Maybe I shouldn't be skipping through like that. An extraordinary remedy that may only be awarded upon a clear showing that the plaintiff is entitled to such relief. A preliminary injunction is appropriate only when the movement's right to relief is clear and unequivocal. Moreover, a federal court considering the motion for preliminary injunctive relief affecting the conditions of a prisoner's confinement must give substantial weight to any adverse impact on public safety. Finally, a mandatory preliminary injunction such as the one sought by plaintiff, which requires the non-moving party to take affirmative action, is disfavored and therefore requires the moving party to make a heightened showing of the 4 factors above. Because preliminary injunctions and TROs are drastic remedies, the exception rather than the rule, plaintiffs must show that they are clearly and unequivocally entitled to relief. Nothing in the plaintiff's motion warrants reconsideration of the court's order denying her request for a preliminary injunction. Local Rule 7.3 provides that except for motions under this federal civil rule, parties seeking reconsideration of a court order must file a motion within 14 days. And it must be based on an intervening change in controlling law, availability of new evidence, or the need to correct clear error or prevent manifest injustice. Plaintiff has failed to present any of the grounds warranting reconsideration as set forth. Plaintiff's motion for reconsideration is denied. It is therefore ordered by the court her motion to reconsider is granted to the extent that the court has considered those claims and arguments in the memorandum and ordered. It is further ordered the plaintiff's motion to reconsider preliminary injunction is denied. It is further ordered that the following claims survive screening. Plaintiff's Eighth Amendment claim in count 2 based on SA and her corresponding claim that staff failed to protect her from her abuser, and plaintiff's First Amendment claim in count 3 alleging a violation of the Free Exercise Clause. All other remaining claims are subject to dismissal. It is further ordered she has until August 29th in which to respond to the report at Doc 24 and to show good cause why her remaining claims should not be dismissed for the reasons set forth in this memorandum and ordered. It is so ordered. John Lungstrom, United States District Judge.
So he granted it in order to review it, and then he denied it, and then he gave her an opportunity. And I think one of the reasons why his decision to not dismiss the SA claim is mainly, it has nothing to do with, pay attention to this, Leticia, it isn't because your claim has merit or you did such a good job. What it is that the prison left, the respondent left it out of the Martinez report. They didn't specifically address certain elements of that specific claim. So it isn't because you're good at lawyering. Don't get big-headed about this.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let me ask you. I'm glad you explained that because it's confusing for me, some of this stuff. So if the judge filed that on 7/29, we know the Martinez report was filed shortly before that. This from her, is this a response to the judge or the Martinez report? Because it starts off, which we're getting ready to start into this. So you guys, Leticia just filed a response on August the 7th. So would it maybe be both, Jen, or?
Yes. So the Martinez report is essentially the respondent's answer in layman's terms, okay? Because Leticia is pro se. So basically, Leticia then has to show just cause for some of the things, including the responses by the respondent, i.e. the Martinez report, and why her claims do have merit and this should go forward. So she has to answer the Martinez report, not necessarily the judge. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
because their argument was a little bit better. It's like a debate. So their response, so she did the first argument, right? She made all the claims, right? And then they responded with the Martinez report, and he found that some of the responses contained within the Martinez report were a little bit more compelling than her allegation. So some of the stuff got dismissed. But then there were some arguments made in the Martinez report that were a little bit gray and didn't quite give a sufficient enough answer so that they could be dismissed. So now Leticia gets a turn to respond to the Martinez report and prove, hey, I know what they said, but this is what's really going on.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to hear from Tisha now, you guys. And Lil Red's been checking. She said, just checked. Nothing else is of record. And she's definitely going to keep us updated, which I appreciate that so much. All right. So look here. She's even cited like case law here. See?
Look at her.
Yeah.
Interesting, though, Tisha. Where'd you get that case law from there, ma'am? Would that be the law library that is, deficient? You can't look anything up, retaliatory and all that
Yeah.
stuff? Huh.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Oh, Steffa, thank you for joining or rejoining, and good to see you.
Oh, wow. I
Good
haven't
being
seen
here.
support with Stefan in a minute. Good to see you, babe.
Me neither.
Hey,
Uh,
Johnson.
okay, so here's her response. Anytime you want to read Bendy, let me know, or I'll do it, and pause me when you want me to stop or whatever. Um,
Leticia, you have the handwriting of a serial killer.
of a serial killer. She was denied law library. Yeah, she just has that case law in the top of her head.
Right. She just knows it. She's just, girl.
Oh my God.
You want me to read this?
Yeah.
I'll read it. All right. Let me make it big. All right. Here we go.
Yay. All right. I'm going to unmute so I can smoke a cigarette.
All right. But you got to scroll for me. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ready? The Martinez report is to be treated like an affidavit, and the court is not authorized to accept factual findings of the prison investigation when the plaintiff has presented conflicting evidence. And this is her case law that she cited. Below is a list of conflicting evidence that is available during discovery or at the present time. 1. Did grieve both. Here we go. Leticia, with the shorthand. You need to be real specific, but let's continue. Sorry, already. Did grieve both issues. You've got to cite what you've got to, what both issues, which both issues. You cited a bunch of issues and you cited a bunch of grievances, but let me just stop. All right. Did grieve both issues to defendants and exhausted all remedies all the way to the Secretary of Corrections, Exhibit 2. 2. As provided by Ms. Chavez, the statement and evidence showed I did not have access to Colorado courts, case law, any resources outside of Kansas, nor the statutes. Statutes. There's a T there, Tisha. As mentioned.
Statue of Liberty, lady.
Lord. We're not talking about the statue they're going to erect in my honor for reading this gobbledygook that you keep on sending people. All right. As mentioned in the original complaint, look how big the letter I is. I needed more than the statues and suffered personal injury as followed. A, the lack of resources caused me to miss out on filing a pro se appellate brief in my criminal appeals case. Told you that's what she was trying to say. Inadequate resources for illegal detention for Colorado habeas. C, subject to dismissal of civil action in Colorado, Exhibit 1. Subject to dismissal for jurisdiction for judicial misconduct case. Okay. Tampering with mail. The list that the KDOC provided includes mail that was actually sent or received. The claim is about several letters that were sent out that was never received. In addition, I never refused any mail. This is a cover-up for officials tampering with mail. All right, Diane Downs, that's who she sounds like. Defendant Hartpence took legal mail in front of I Sergeant Jacques and told me I could not mail the items. Finally, I am missing letters from attorneys, Shawnee County Court, and from Colorado courts that were sent to Topeka Correctional that I never received. In addition, legal mail is denied. Exhibit 9. Update since receiving the Martinez report. A, defendants are interfering with my law library access completely by blocking my access or denying my attendance. Blocked. I filed electronic forms about their actions. That would demonstrate the continued denial of the courts in addition to other forms mentioned in this document. Evidence available during my discovery phase will be electronic numbers 4785291 and a bunch of other numbers. Evidence available with this response is Exhibit 2 and Exhibit 3. Count 2, contaminated water. Here we go. Oh, shocker. Plaintiff disagrees with the Martinez report for several reasons, and it conflicts with plaintiff's allegations. How did you think it was going to go? No advisory was posted, and as this was a weekend and unit team was not at Topeka Correctional, no other employees posted an advisory as mentioned in the KDOC response. These lies. C, statements are available from inmates explaining the contaminated water issue. Please see Exhibit 4, 5, and 6. Additional statements can be provided during the discovery phase. D, did grieve and exhausted remedies. See Exhibit 7. Count 2 continued. Mold toxins and improper ventilation. A, statements provided in Exhibit 6 are from individuals housed with or close to plaintiff. Personal injury can be showed during discovery. B, no one has entered or tested any of the cells that plaintiff has lived in, nor were there any statements saying that. The statements provided were by individuals who do not check our cells or are trained to know what to look for. During discovery, plaintiff can provide additional statements from inmates. They need those statements now, Leticia. You're about to get your shit dismissed.
Yeah.
The report, excuse me. D, the report focused on cells, but did not mention any common areas, the cafeteria, the law library, etc., that have mold, toxins, and lack ventilation.
Pause. How does she know if anybody has checked the rooms she lived in for mold and stuff? She's been housed in 10 separate rooms. How can she say definitively like this in legal paperwork that you know what I mean? How does she know that?
She says she can provide statements.
Later. Okay.
From inmates.
Oh, okay.
Later. Yeah, later. Later, Allie. She gonna get to that later.
Okay.
Sheesh. E, at no time has anyone checked the windows on any cell that I have lived in, nor was a report provided by qualified individuals. Leticia, you going to be doing the qualifications? Is that what it is? It's up to you. Shut up, Tisha. All right. Mm-hmm. To verify leaks, improper ventilation, or how we cannot see out our windows. If you can't see out your windows, how's anything getting in your windows? F.
Yeah, and also, that's not a reason to sue the prison.
It's not. It's really not. I have no window access. I want $1 million. Shut up, Tisha.
Exactly.
F. You're an F. Plaintiff followed grievance procedure through 44-15-201, special kind of problems, and through the emergency grievance procedure, Exhibit 8. Deliberate and indifference, food and nutrition. A, Martinez report conflicts with the pro se plaintiff's allegation and asks the district court to accept the allegations as true. All right, stop right there. That is inaccurate and incorrect. You made an allegation. The prison responded. Now you have to supply the proof. Okay. The burden is on you, Leticia. You're the plaintiff. Ding dong. So you need to cite specific examples of how your nutrition has not been followed, while I will point out that you don't care about nutrition because you scarfed down an entire bag of Jolly Ranchers, which, as delicious as Jolly Ranchers are, do not provide adequate nutrition. I don't care how many aerobics classes you attend. All right. Sorry.
That's true. All right.
Boom. And ask the district court to accept the allegation as true. Not the records of the report by individuals not responsible for food preparation or testing of mold or unclean areas. They did provide those. Food is served, B. Food is served at improper temperatures and sometimes undercooked or cold.
Oh my God.
C, below required calorie amount is listed in the KDOC policy and federal standards for FDA.
Oh my.
D, deprivation to our health to be fed nutritional food instead of food that causes personal injury. E, during discovery, later,
Yeah.
plaintiff can show personal injury and long-term effects. F, food is prepared in unclean, non-sanitary conditions. Again, you need to cite examples. You need to show proof of this. Just restating your original claim is not sufficient.
Yeah.
Jesus. G, I wish we could stop this. Anyone can sign off on a nutritional plan. However, we do not see or receive what is on the plan. Okay, so why don't you cite what's on the plan versus what you actually receive? How about that? H, a disposable camera would show the court that these allegations are true. I, mold and improper ventilation in the cafeteria and where food is prepared, except for the fact that the food hasn't been prepared in the cafeteria. Remember, that's part of your issue. It's being prepared in little like trailers off site because they're redoing the cafeteria, remember, and the kitchen.
And
Count
also,
three.
well,
Go
also,
ahead.
Jen, don't you think like probably every inmate has complaints about the food? It's fucking prison. Like it's not going to be the
Yes.
best. I just
That's why canteen is so high valued there. That's why it is one of their currencies, because what the FDA regulate, or the regulations for prison food is low. It's facts.
right.
It's but we know that Leticia is a health nut and sticks to a strict diet of candy, cakes, whippets, Jolly Ranchers, and something else that she makes on her own. Breakfast burritos.
Yeah, and then what was the coffee? Sweet potato coffee and
Yeah.
Rope Scout. Thank you for being a member for 10 months. Wow, time goes by so fast. It's just so true.
It is true. I mean, for Pete's sake, she stirs her whippets with a comb. Comb, COMB, like the kind you put in your hair. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Comb.
disgusting.
Yeah, so clearly, she's got high standards. She's very bougie, y'all.
Oh, look here. I think we're going to get into more of this male and female argument with her, which let me just ask you before we hear this. So Topeka Correctional is an all women's prison, right? And then she's referring to other men under Kansas Department of Corrections.
I think that's accurate. Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought too. Little Red, thank you for being a member for 9 months. I appreciate that so much. Homer says, it really gets under my skin that she's still allowed to use the Stauch name. I thought Al said something about that in court.
He did, but there isn't anything that he can do.
Yeah. And she claimed that she wasn't allowed to change it. That was what she claimed. So I don't know.
I'm pretty sure now she probably could. Probably not when she was going through all of this, but now that she's been convicted, I think, yes, she can probably change her name.
Is there AC in the summer and heat in the winter? Yeah, Deborah, I would assume so. I think, maybe not your, like what you would prefer, but I know they're not going to let you freeze.
And if you get too hot, some hot guy with a palm frond isn't going to show up and fan you a little extra. It's prison. Like, be realistic, Tisha.
Yeah, she's a liar. So there's that. Crystal says it costs to change it though, right? Does it cost to change your last name? Court costs and stuff, maybe?
I'm sure that under the circumstances, there's probably something that can be done.
Okay. Interesting. Now we know what to get Bendy for Christmas, a big old Tisha statue. I'm gonna make a statue emoji for us, but
Okay. We need to, yeah. This is the wrong statue.
okay.
All
Yeah.
right. Count 3, religion. A, there are continued religious violations as mentioned in my 1983 and documents provided by KDOC. B, Chaplain Waller did make the statement about Jewish services and that the male inmates do not face these challenges. C, male inmates have chapels and places of worship. Females do not. Male inmates can attend various services for different religions and or their own religions. Females cannot. D, I was forced to change religion as demonstrated in the KDOC Martinez report to attend church. E, Topeka Correctional does not recognize Jewish faith as shown in the report and treat members of some religious groups different from others. F, I exhausted all, you're exhausting is what you mean. I exhausted all remedies by following KDOC policies, including the informal process, emergency grievances, etc., for several months at TCF. Plaintiff asked the court to continue with the claims already accepted.
Sorry.
And now she wants more, y'all, and to add the areas listed in this response. There is more evidence that would be available during the discovery phase. Okay, Leticia, you have what the oh my God, they're asking for more evidence because you're not even getting to so promising that there's more evidence to come is not how this works. You need to give some of the more evidence to come.
Yeah.
Okay. Would be available during the discovery phase in addition to the exhibits attached to this document. Defendants are deliberate and indifferent to my health and safety and have denied me access to the courts and tampered with mail without a valid reason. I declare under penalty of perjury that the statements are true and correct on August 5th, 2024, Letecia Stauch.
And one of you guys asked, how does she sign her name? And there you go. There's more, you guys, but
what? Wait.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. But that is how she signs her name. So this is her exhibit 1. Notice of electronic filing, docket text, order to show cause, returnable by plaintiff Letecia Stauch, why this case should not be dismissed for failure to prosecute. On 12/18/23, the court mailed, what is this regarding? Oh, El Paso County.
Yes, this is her. I'll be right. Now it's my turn. So I'm going to listen. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Y'all behave.
Thank you, Bendy, for everything.
Oh, you're welcome, babe.
And if you guys haven't checked out Jen's channel, it is in the description. Definitely check it out. We both cover many things, Leticia and otherwise. So, and also the channels that we drop throughout the live, I really highly recommend as well. So here's her exhibit 1 regarding Stauch versus El Paso County. This was filed on January 29th of 2024. Order on motion to withdraw as attorney. The mail was returned as undeliverable. The court further orders all counsel for defendants to promptly attempt to notify plaintiff by any and all means of which they are aware. As Leticia likes to say, yada, yada, yada. Now we have more exhibit 1. Order to show cause. It was undeliverable. So she's showing that, yeah, some of her mail hasn't been delivered and, it's not. But that doesn't mean that the jail is tampering with it. I mean, shit happens. And when you're in prison, not everything's going to go super smoothly. I don't know. I feel like if this lawsuit would work, then every inmate would have a lawsuit as well. This would set precedent for some of the craziest stuff, Okay, so here's exhibit 2. This is the appeal of grievance to Secretary of Corrections. Remember, Zmuda, who's on the lawsuit. This is a grievance. Says grievance serial number, several from Chavez. See back of sheet. Tell the secretary what you feel. So she did this on 2/1, February 1st, 2024. And she said her right to access the court is basically being denied. I need access to Colorado Court of Appeals, not just statues. More statues, lots and lots of statues. I also need resources for a habeas for a Colorado civil case for prison conditions and a right to my attorney. I need more than the Colorado statues. I need access to the courts. The computer only has Kansas case law and Kansas appeals and state combined cases. B, I have tried multiple times to add an attorney to my list. See grievance number. Well, we know that she does have an attorney on her list. She actually has an attorney from Colorado listed as her attorney through the jail. We saw that at the end of the Martinez report, if you guys remember. So that's bullshit. I received a letter of dismissal due to not having access to the Colorado courts. This is how she thinks she's going to get around the deadline she missed for her appeal, in my opinion. I received a letter of dismissal. I read that. I'm sorry. So 1, timeline of grievances. Filed special kind of problems to higher authority after not getting responses about ongoing issues. Arrow pointing to warden. This is so professional. You know, it's funny because we see the judge's motions and what he files, and everything's written, you know, proper English. Gives examples. It makes sense. I understand she can't type it up, but come on, man. Really? The arrow filed special kind of problems to higher authority after not getting responses. Arrow pointing to warden. 3, no response and proceeded with final step to Secretary of Corrections. This is Exhibit 3. This is inmate request to staff member from August the 2nd of 2024. So this just happened, and this is regarding right to access the court. She says, I am being denied the law library per your directive as a form of retaliation. There is no reason to deny this service as I am general population and I went for 11 months without any DRs or any reports of abusing the library services. We know that's not true. She has had a DR. That's why she lost her job. I don't know why she just puts like lies in this that are part of the freaking court record for this case. This is as a result of filing a right to access claim and a way to prevent me from proceeding forward with my civil claim. This is in addition to already denying me the Colorado courts. The inability to use the law library limited and denied my right to access the courts and causes injury. And then we have Exhibit 4. On January the 14th, 2024, I was housed on J Cell House, 2nd floor. That day, there was an advisory, more about this freaking advisory, on Topeka, Kansas water. This advisory was on the news, and that is how other residents and I were informed, that we should not drink the water unless it was boiled. At no time on January 14th were there ever signs posted, nor an announcement stating we should not drink or use the water. Around 9 p.m., officers came around and brought each resident 2 bottles of water. Ooh. This is from another inmate, Aaliyah Lucas. Now, here's the thing, though. This water advisory wasn't even technically for the prison. They, out of precaution, were handing out water and stuff. But if you guys remember from the past claims, it wasn't even the prison water that they were even talking about. Aw, Homer Green, you guys are amazing, and that is so sweet. I appreciate that. He says, I would like to say you ladies are amazing. Allie, Jen, Melissa, I truly appreciate all you ladies do. I commend y'all. Keep up the good work, and I truly appreciate you guys. She did get fired from her job. Yes, jewelry nurse. So, and we just went over that a little bit ago, but she it's intertwined with this missing work for religious reasons, but missing work because they told her to, because they were investigating claims she made about being assaulted. So, but yeah, we have another inmate in here giving a statement. Interesting. All right, let's continue. Now we have Exhibit 5. This is another inmate. Okay. She says, I, Mia Hildego, am writing on behalf of the Martinez report in regards to TCF living condition, lack of safety and regard for resident being housed here, food sanitation procedure and prep, and disregard for basic human rights and decency. Now, I'm going to tell you guys now, and we've talked about it in the past, this prison does have a history of inmates filing lawsuits, and there's some pretty horrific claims of things that have been going on there. So it is kind of interesting to see these other inmates giving their statements. What do you guys think about that? And, I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. I am in the process of kind of trying to do this deep dive into what's really going on at this prison. So I'm really excited to kind of put all that together. But Jen, you're back. Do you see we have other inmates?
Yes.
What do you think?
I am curious as to what they have to say, because I notice already this person who wrote this statement just from on January 14th, she's far more specific than Leticia is, which is really what is required. Not this statement, the one you were about to read.
Oh, okay.
The one that you had just barely scrolled to. Yeah, Miss Hidalgo. She is already starting out more specific than Leticia was. And I will say this. Inmates suing the prison, alleging all kinds of things, is not uncommon at all. These people, they do have quite a bit of time on their hands. Right. And this is a way to pass that. However, I do think that for me, I don't really give a rat's fat kneecap about any of the other elements to her lawsuit, like the water, because as Allie pointed out, the fact of the matter is the prison wasn't part of the Boyle notice. It was other areas, and they just did it just to be on the safe side. Actually, I believe the words they used were out of an abundance of caution. So for me, nothing real. None of this really means anything to me, or is egregious or anything like that, other than if she was assaulted, and then was forced to continue to be around the person who assaulted her. The person being not another inmate. The allegation is that it's another correctional officer, and that is a problem that should be looked into and addressed. The rest of the stuff, sounds to me like complaints. And the fact of the matter is, Leticia had plenty of time. All she had to do with Judge Werner, by what he said, is file a notice of appeal. That's all she had to do. Just notify the courts that she intended to appeal. And she had, I don't know, something like 15 days, something like that. That's it. That's all she had to do.
Okay, so you're not going to believe this. We'll read this, and then I'm going to pull up an article Lil Red just sent me that just came out.
Okay.
And I just scanned it, but oh my God, I'll just read it to you in a second, because it's pretty crazy, because many of the things she's saying are being claimed by other people already.
Wow.
Okay, so let's read Mia's. This is what I think we should do. Read Mia's statement, go to that article, just chat for a few minutes, and then come back for like another one in a day or two whenever you're ready. I want you to do whatever on your channel and stuff
Okay.
first, but then come back and I'm going to finish doing the little bit of investigating I'm doing, and maybe we can put it all together for the wrap up of it.
Okay. Crime crochet and coiffe. It's not okay. So for me, the whole situation with the essay is because it's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's wrong no matter who does it, but it's particularly egregious when there is a power dynamic. And I mean, Leticia is not the only person at that prison, right? And while her crime was particularly heinous, right? And I have no sympathy for her. I don't care if she drinks contaminated water, if I'm being completely honest. I really don't. But if this is something that occurs, if this is true, then the person who's doing this, even if they shuffle them around to different departments within the correctional institution, they're a danger. They're a danger to people who haven't committed crimes like Leticia's, you know? So I don't know. That's just how I feel about it.
Oh, I'm 100% with you. And I get why people are like, fuck it, who cares what happens to her? What she did was so egregious. Like, who gives a damn?
Yeah.
And I get that. But like Jen said, there are other people there who haven't done things like that. For me, it's almost like, and not the same, but almost like when, let's say, like, okay, there's a situation I've been following recently with a huge YouTuber that I've really loved for a long time. And it's just like, it really breaks my heart. But he was 25 years old. This up and coming YouTuber was 17. Now he had a huge platform, millions of subscribers. This up and coming YouTuber really looked up to him and was a fan, and also was much younger. And he slept with her, even knowing that she was 17. There was this power dynamic, right? Where you have this bigger YouTuber. For me, when there's a situation like that, where there is that power dynamic, that's like, whether it's inmate and CO, teacher and student, which is even more sick, but let's say college teacher and student, where it's power dynamic. I think that makes it just even worse. And I don't think that we should just be like, okay, that's fine, just keep doing it. Because then look at there are monsters in there. What if somebody's innocent? There are innocent people in prison.
Right.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly.
Christina, did you email me? And did I email you back? Because I thought because I got some and I showed them in a live a while back, like when she first went. But it's been a while.
Neat Noodle sums it up perfectly. In my opinion, when we don't care about things like that, we lose a piece of our own humanity. That's exactly it for me. It is, we are not in prison because we're supposed to be, we're doing the right things, making the right decisions, living, within the confines of society's rules, right? So if we start just ignoring rights willy-nilly, then Leticia ignored all of Gannon's rights, all of them, right? So if we start ignoring even one or two, just one right of other people, then we start to become slowly like the people that we're talking about. We become the monster. And I don't want to do that. That's where it is for me.
Yeah. Thank you, Christina, for that. And I appreciate it. I do remember getting some. But yeah, Jen, I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's bigger than just her.
Right. Exactly. That's where it is for me. But I do understand. There is, I get it. I don't care if she gets every meal served to her cold for the rest of her life. I don't care. Exactly. Like, I don't care. I don't care if she has to drink, not bottled water, whatever. It is what it is. Like, I don't care about any of that. I don't care if they restrict her Jolly Rancher intake, or she has to have whatever the Dollar General brand coffee is instead of Folgers. Like, I don't give a rat's fat kneecap about none of that. But this other stuff, I like that part of, that thing I do, the other thing I do care.
Yeah, I do too. And I hope she's as miserable and gets all the cold raw meals and all the awful showers and all that kind of stuff for her, that she's in prison. That's what it's, that's, you're there to be punished.
Exactly.
Okay, I agree. Nini says, now this is interesting. She says, I agree, but I think she should be punished if it's a false accusation, though.
She should.
She ruins people's lives with these accusations. Absolutely.
She absolutely should. She absolutely should. Making a false allegation like that ruins not only the person's life, that is like a stain that doesn't really wash off. You'll forever be sort of side-eyed because people will wonder, did they really not do it, or was there just not enough evidence to prove that they did it? It doesn't go away.
Yep. And oh my God, I've thought about this so many times raising young men. Like, oh my God, it's so scary,
And then on top of it, she makes it worse for victims.
Yep.
It's difficult for men to come forward because of the embarrassment and the shame. For women, we have had to overcome, well, what were you wearing? Oh, you were in a bar. Well, how many drinks did you have? Yep. We have had to prove that we didn't ask for it. For just in general, really, that's the truth. Gender aside, victims have had to prove that on some level they weren't asking for it or didn't deserve. They have to prove that they're genuinely victims. That's wrong. And every time somebody makes a false allegation like this, it sets victims back, all victims of every gender.
Absolutely. Completely agree. And if there was a way to prove that it was false, I really do think that she should be punished. I just don't know if they can prove it. Okay, before we hear, because I want to hear what Mia says and show you this article, I cannot wait. Just knowing how Tisha pulls everything from movies and stuff. But I've got to ask you this because Wade Wilson. Christy says, off topic, Allie, will y'all be covering Wade Wilson? Phone Calls from Prison has released some of his calls from his initial arrest, and they are wild and sickening how they laugh about his crimes. So I had seen that she was releasing some calls today with like his dad and his girlfriend. And I don't know that case, but it has made me interested in the case.
Like now I know that case. I followed it. Remember, I was going to cover it, but then it went so quick. And at the same time,
talking about it just briefly at some point. But
no, when his trial was going on, right as I was about to cover it because it had started, is when we got the calls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then it went, and I thought, well, I can go back and cover it. And it was not that long of a trial. It was fairly quick.
I saw that. Jewelry Nurse, thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate that so much. And for the I don't know if it's a super chat or super sticker. So, but regardless, I don't care. And I appreciate that so much. And thank you. That was super sweet. So would you be interested in listening to those calls? Or
I've been listening to them, babe. They are messed up. Y'all think Letecia? Mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
It's okay. Let me say this. They're not any worse. They're just, it's a different type. I would say they're equally as bad. It's just in a different way.
Yeah.
He talks about his crime.
See, I don't even know the crime. I don't know anything about it.
So what he did was murder 2 women. Gosh. And he was on a meth binge, ran one of them over repeatedly with a car. Yeah, it was
oh my God.
Awful. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That guy's so evil. Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll dig into that case a little bit and maybe some of the calls.
But what's happened on TikTok is I guess these women, he's not attractive to me, but there are women on the Tickety Talks who find him quite attractive. And so what they have done is they take clips of him from court, and they will it's all CapCut. I use CapCut so I can see the edits, but they use CapCut and then they put it with certain type of music. And if you don't know who he is or what the case is, what he did, what he's been convicted of, then you would think, oh, this is just some guy showing up, for court, and maybe he's a bad boy. Maybe he's, moved a little weight. You know what I mean? That's not what it is. So, it's a problem. He's got a whole fan club. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I saw some of that. I'm like, I was pretty shocked by that. I don't understand. I mean, I know the hybristophilia, like we talked about that, but I don't know. It's weird. But maybe we'll talk about that another day. But little Irish girl said, I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin's prisons are understaffed, on lockdown. People are dying from dehydration, starvation, no medical treatment. It's awful. They deserve to have basic needs met. Above that, I don't give a F. He's raised over $60K in GoFundMe. What?
Yes.
For what? His appeal?
He says he didn't do it.
Oh my God. Wow. But yet he's talking about it on the phone calls?
Yeah, these are all calls that he made before his trial.
Oh, okay. Okay, so all right. All right, you guys, we're gonna read this other inmate's what she claims, and then I want to show you this article. But Jen, can you give me like 20 seconds? I'll be right back.
Yeah. Do you want me to read what she says?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, so if you'll just scroll up just to where it says on right there, that's perfect. On January right there, January 14th. I can take it from there.
Okay, and then when you get to the bottom, because I got to step away for 2 seconds, but
you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay.
You're welcome. All right. On January 14th, 2024, I was housed on J2 of TCF's J cell dorm. Letecia Sr. was working as our floor deputy that day, and Sergeant Willis was the sergeant on duty that day as well. I had heard from multiple residents there that the city of Topeka was on a boil advisory, but I had not seen or heard for myself on a proper news reporting channel, nor did the staff notify us of any concern pertaining to the water. That evening, residents, including myself, called home to see our families would do a Google search about anything being reported from Topeka news sources about the boil advisory. My mother, who resides in Sedgwick County, had no knowledge of this due to living there, but did conduct a Google search and confirmed that Shawnee County was in fact under a boil advisory, and asked me if the guards had notified the floors of this. I told her no, and voiced my concerns and anxieties to her. She told me she would call the facility and see what's going on. I went to my floor officer and asked him how come the floor was not notified of the boiling advisory. He responded with, "We're not under a boiling advisory." I said, "Yes, we are. It's on the news." He proceeds to tell me, no, I would have heard about it in my briefing before. Before I started this shift, you guys are fine to drink and use the water. I grew upset and irritated with him placing the safety and health of us at risk, and told him that. He then rolled his eyes. I'm rolling my eyes, and told me he was done talking about this and to get out of his face. I told him I'm calling my mom and reporting him and his response to me. I called my mother back, explained to her what he said. She said she called the facility and spoke with Sergeant Willis, who told her that bottled waters had been given out. Residents were
Notified.
were notified, and because you're moving it, and advised to not drink or use the water, and that they would be providing bottled water to the residents as they had done at the beginning of the shift. There is camera footage showing when they handed out bottled water, and it was at night after the 9 p.m. count. KDHE issued a news report January 14th at 12 p.m. Of notifying the public of issues this issue. The officer on shift that day took the post at 2 p.m. Central Time. That gave TCF facility staff 2 hours to assess the problem and before the next shift to not let the facility water be used, which they did that whole day and days to follow without any signs being up. They disregarded and jeopardized our safety and health and should be held responsible for their actions, as we inmates are here doing sentences being held accountable for our wrongdoings. End of report. Mia Hidalgo.
Wow, the way that ended.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to stop with this and come back to it in another day with the other things that I had mentioned to you guys. But here is the article. Now, this just came out August the 1st, 2024. Hold on. Okay, so why a federal judge won't let Topeka prisoners merge lawsuits into class action. A federal judge refused Tuesday to allow lawsuits filed by 6 Topeka Correctional Facility inmates who are each serving as their own attorney to become a class action suit. The 6 sought last June to combine their suits into one class action suit alleging Kansas Secretary of Corrections Jeff Zmuda and the warden have shown deliberate indifference to their safety and health by exposing them to fungus, toxins, sewer gas, and mold without adequate ventilation. Handwritten lawsuits complaints filed by the inmates Cora Lyles, Kimberly Younger, Barbara France, Michaela Spencer, Sharon Huddleston, and Jennifer Lockett also allege the state and its food provider, Aramark, have shown deliberate indifference to their health and safety by serving them food that causes, quote, personal injury, unquote. The inmates asked that their complaints be certified as a class action lawsuit covering all the 900 plus inmates incarcerated at the prison. Class action suits allow for the claims of all class members, whether they know they have been damaged or not, to be resolved in a single proceeding through the efforts of the named plaintiffs and their legal counsel. What did the judge say? In refusing to allow the suits to become a class action suit, U.S. District Judge John Lungstrom cited a 2014 court decision asserting that a court may not certify a class action unless it determines the representative parties will fairly and adequately represent the interests of the class. That including taking into account the quality and experience of the attorneys who would represent that class. Lungstrom's ruling said, the same judge. He noted that a 2000 federal court ruling concluded a litigant may bring his own claims to court without legal counsel, but not the claims of others, because the competence of a layman is clearly too limited to risk the rights of others. Lungstrom, same judge who's hearing all this from Tisha, that's also on this case, dismissed the class action suit the 6 sought to pursue together as being duplicative of suits that each of them had each filed on their own. All 6 will proceed with their individual suits while continuing to serve as their own attorneys, he said. He also issued separate orders Tuesday in each of the 6 individual suits, requiring each inmate to show cause as to why her suit should not be dismissed. The Department of Corrections doesn't comment about pending litigation, said David Thompson, its public information officer. Lungstrom's order noted that the 6 had earlier sought to join a lawsuit filed February 16th by Topeka Correctional Facility inmate Letecia Stauch against defendants who included Zmuda. Lungstrom denied that request earlier this year, concluding any decision on the matters involved would have been premature at the time because a Martinez report ordered in the Stauch case had not yet been completed. Stauch's suit includes allegations that TCF failed to address environmental and health hazards. The Martinez report detailing what was subsequently found concluded her claims were unfounded for her particular cell, though Lundstrom, in a court order issued Monday, gave her an opportunity to respond to that. Lyles, France, Spencer, Huddleston, and Stauch are all serving time for first-degree murder. Younger is serving time for capital murder. Lockett is serving time for forgery, theft, drug crimes, and an offender registration violation. And that is it.
Damn.
Wow. They're all, okay, that is so interesting to me because one of those names I was already researching their claims a little bit.
Oh,
That
really?
was part of what I was talking about. Yeah. And is Tisha just repeating what these women had already put out in their suits last year? And they were all trying to join together. And this is a new article. I'm just surprised that really no one's picked it up. I need to do like a Google alerts on her name for when things like this drop, so that, because I want to know.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think?
Well, remember when she was in El Paso County, when she did that lawsuit, she had other people she tried to get other people to join up with her.
Yeah.
So,
but because they're representing themselves, they can't do
a class action.
They're in it together.
They're in it together. That's what I think. I think what they're doing is, I think they are working together, which is why their claims are similar.
Yep, I agree, because it sounds identical. The 6 claims are that the deliberate indifference to their health and safety, serving them food that causes personal injury. That's word for word what Tisha said. And this judge is reading all of it.
Right, exactly. I would be curious to see exactly when they filed their initial.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious about if Leticia joined after the fact, because it sounds to me like at least a couple of these people that have filed suit would likely be housed in the same area as Leticia. Like she's, been cahooting, she loves to cahoot.
Yeah. And they're there for the same crime. So that would make a lot of sense. So it says they each filed suits on their own, but it didn't say when. I need to look into this.
We'd have to look into it. We can find it.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. And we're going to come back for a part 2 of Leticia's filing and go through the rest of that and hopefully have some more information on this other stuff. Lariah, thank you for gifting a membership. That's super sweet. And yeah, I don't know who got it. Oh, look, Michelle did.
Yeah, Michelle got it.
Awesome. Thank you. And Lariah, the way I knew how to pronounce her name, because it looks like Mariah to me. So I just put an L on it and hoped for the best, which is a beautiful name.
It is a beautiful name. And I feel like that's right.
Yeah, she said when at the beginning that Melissa said, "How did you know how to pronounce that so perfectly?" or something.
Oh, wait, hold on a minute. Christy Michelle says, yeah. Allie and Bendy, one more case suggestion. The murder of Trey Zwicker in Louisville, Kentucky. My lifelong friends, 15 years old. Stepfather convicted, stepbrother acquitted, later confessed, but double jeopardy. Huh. Okay, I'll look into it. Into it. Can you email me, Christy?
I'm going to take a picture of the comment.
Okay. Yeah. Allie's much better at that. I write stuff down and then I forget where I wrote it.
And now I'm going to text it to you right now.
Okay. Thank you, babe. I appreciate that.
Oh, Lil Red, you are the best. And I appreciate you so much helping us and finding all this stuff. And yeah, it's just, you're awesome.
Lil Red, she got to Topeka, I think, October or November of 2023. Right, Allie?
Yeah, well, I don't know. There was some kind of change in August. Is that when she went to?
I remember we couldn't find her for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did. But it seems like we found out where she was right about the same time we started getting the calls. And that, I think, was in October. of 2023.
Yeah, well, my memory is definitely not good enough to know for sure, so I don't know. I just remember something about August, but I don't even know what question, what comment, what. Oh, when did she get to Topeka?
Yeah,
Okay,
Lil Red asked.
Lariah does rock. That was freaking sweet, and I'm glad you got it, Michelle. So wow, you guys, I don't know. There was a huge lawsuit against a prison that we saw when she first got there. Let me just do a Google search. Hold on.
I mean, there are definite deficiencies across the country in our prison system. This is true.
Yeah.
There are deficiencies where the minimum basic 3 hots and a cot are not being met. That is a problem to me. And I will say that when we had the pandemic, the prisons and jails were woefully unprepared for something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Christy, it's blind just here. I'll put it in. Oh, I can't. Well, I'll just put it in. It's at Gmail because it won't let me.
Oh, wait. Casetext.com, France versus Kansas. This is from 2021. Who the heck? Okay. So there was a lawsuit about some physical violence that happened. Now I'm looking and I'm finding some others. So November of last year, a federal judge has thrown out a lawsuit by Topeka Correctional Facility inmate Caitlin Fowler, who said she was denied access to showers after working for hours in a rat-infested kitchen that had backed up plumbing. Also, the same judge, Lundstrom, let me just go ahead and share my screen again. Let's see. The same judge gave her till November 6th to file an amended complaint, saying the time period Fowler had been given to file had ended without her doing so. He dismissed it without prejudice. Now, here's what she alleged. She wanted $2 million. Oh my gosh. Okay, so she was released on October 13th. She was asking for damages totaling $2 million. Allegations made included kitchen where she worked was infested with rats and bugs. Kitchen sink was backed up. Trays had feces on them, hadn't been cleaned. She was denied access to a shower after her shift, forcing her to wash up in the sink in front of her cellmate. So that one was denied. Then we have,
But
there's
interesting where she worked in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious now if they're going to, okay, according to search, Leticia was moved to Topeka 8/21/23, so August.
I knew there was some kind of move in August. Okay, thank you guys. Interesting. Okay, hold on. I want to find this one other one before we go. But yeah, maybe in the meantime, I might look at Wade Wilson's case. And there was that some new stuff with Sarah Boone that got released, Jen?
What are you talking about? New stuff?
There was, I don't know. I had seen.
I covered the latest. The next thing is the 14th.
Oh, I mean, so after your last live, was there like old body cam footage or had that? Okay, so I saw.
That's old and it's been out for a very long time.
Okay, of like their incidents fighting with each other and stuff like
yes.
years before.
So the body cam footage that's out is actually kind of interesting to look at, really, because it is the last incident of domestic violence. It's okay. What happened is there was an incident prior to that of domestic violence. Okay. And it ended up being that there was a no contact order issued. The body cam footage is after that. And Sarah had called the police. And when they came out, George was not there. But when they came out again, George was there. And there was a no contact order. And so they immediately took him and arrested him. So they took him down to the jail. Now, the interesting part about that is what Sarah is doing while they're arresting him. And if you guys want to go over that, I would be more than happy to go over that with you guys. We watched it before, but I would be more than happy to go over it with you guys again if you want.
I think you should do it because I've never seen it before. And I was wondering like if it was newly released or what. I guess Law and Crime or somebody had put out a video like of it. I think you should totally do that. That would be so interesting.
And the next hearing for Boone is on August 14th.
Okay.
And that is, they're going to cover a few things. Sarah wants her concerns regarding the way that the USB is handled and all of that. She wants that addressed. They are going to address this viewing of the evidence, Sarah's opportunity to view the physical evidence. Sarah, and I don't disagree with her. She doesn't want the media to be there because obviously this is an unconventional way. Typically what would have happened, it would be like her last attorney, Miss Cashman. Miss Cashman would have gone down to view all of the evidence. It wouldn't have been private, but it also wouldn't have been in an open courtroom where the media would be allowed in. So Sarah doesn't want the media to be there while she views the evidence. That's basically it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think you should do that. Like go over that old body cam footage because I think it's important for before
it is. It's interesting, but it won't be admitted. They won't be able to use it.
Okay, so
it's be prejudicial.
I wanted to show you. I remember, okay, so some of these aren't loading for me. I'm going to have to look later, but I remember last year there was really bold accusations against the prison about, a woman saying she was dragged from one place to another and all this stuff. Now, there was an investigation that was done on the prison after that. And even if this was last year, 2023, but if you look even back to 2012, Justice Department was doing investigations trying to figure out what was going on there because of claims. Maybe every prison has tons of lawsuits, but I know this one for sure definitely has had a ton. And look at this one. Kansas prison contractors negligence forced removal of woman's colon suit.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. A healthcare provider didn't get her medication she needed for months, despite numerous requests and complaints. She eventually had to have much of her colon removed. But there are many others. There are some pretty violent ones, and maybe that'll be something I'll look into before we come back. How often are these claims being made about other prisons? Or is this one just particularly known for being, a tough place to go? But look, when you murder someone, all those people been convicted of first-degree murder. What Leticia did to Gannon is one of the most horrific cases I have ever followed. That boy went through pure hell, and I cannot imagine the fear, confusion that he went through at that time. And you know what? I'm sorry, but she deserves to have cold food and be cold and things like that. I don't give a damn about any of that,
Oh, yeah. I don't give a rat's fat kneecap if her food is cold. Hell no, I don't care.
That's what you get and you deserve when you do what you did. So, but the other stuff, I'm curious to know more about it. I'm curious to know more about these other inmates too that are making these claims. Are they like Leticia?
It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah. Roberta says it's all prisons. So I'm going to ask my mom because my mom retired from federal prison. She worked there for like 20 some years. And I'll do some asking with her and see I know it's different with federal and it was a men's prison, but still.
Yeah.
So you're going to maybe go over the Sarah Boone stuff. Want to maybe look at Wade Wilson. There are some other current things I want to talk about. I don't know, man. YouTube can be such an awesome place, but it can be such a toxic place too. So
yeah.
Finding the balance is,
it's hard sometimes.
Yeah. I just sent info to Alex. They all did it with Leticia. Nothing is old. Well, Loretta, I just appreciate you. Oh, wow, she did. Okay, so I'll look through this. We'll come back for a part two, finish her statement, see if any other inmates gave statements. Maybe we'll look into the history of some of these people speaking up for Tisha. I would be curious to know about that.
Yeah, me too. I'm curious about this too.
And then, yeah.
I for the people in the chat that are talking about writing Betty Broderick, she does interest me. Betty Broderick does, because she wasn't convicted to life without, or she wasn't sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. She is up for parole. She's been up for parole a couple of times, but she absolutely positively refuses to admit and take accountability for her crime. She maintains that Dan and Linda pushed her to it, and she's basically not sorry. And she all she has to do, really, because she's at an age where they would likely grant it to her, if all she really has to do is say that she takes accountability, she shouldn't have done what she did, and she's sorry. That's really all she has to do, and she absolutely refuses it. Even so, she would rather die in prison than die in the comfort around any family, or be comfortable in any way, shape, or form. And I don't really know how I feel about that. Like, there's part of me that's um like I don't want to say admire, but I am a little, like, I'm in awe of her audacity, I suppose, and the fact that she has stuck to that. I mean, that is the stance that she has maintained since Dan left her, before she ever shot him and Linda, before
See, I
any
don't
of
know
that ever happened. Oh gosh. Okay, Allie, I'm going to send you the link to, it's on YouTube. You can watch it. It's also on Amazon Prime for free. The Betty Broderick story. I
Okay,
think
yeah.
there's a Dirty John one, like the second season of Dirty John covers it. And you should probably watch both, but watch the old, I think it was done in 89, 90, somewhere in that vicinity, when the movie came out, because it's in two parts, because she was tried twice. She had a mistrial the first time, hung jury, and then they tried her again. But
Okay.
I will say that the Dirty John one, um, I think in some aspects is more accurate. I mean, the truth of the matter is, Dan and Linda did tease her, and they did have that nickname for her and whatnot. Now, that being said, the answer to that is not to break into your ex-husband's house and shoot him and his new wife in their bed while they sleep. Like that's not the answer to being, get to be being teased and stuff. It's not, even though they didn't have a term for it back then. Dan did gaslight Betty. She knew
Mm,
he was having an affair with Linda, and he told her not only was he not having an affair with her, but she was crazy for thinking that he was, and she was making it all up in her brain. And so um, there are elements that are more accurate in the Dirty John series than that are in the Lifetime movie. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what Linda and Dan did to Betty. They didn't deserve what they got.
yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Send me that. I'll look that one up on Amazon. But if there's something on YouTube, send that to me and I'll check it out because I'm totally lost with that one too. But Seek Justice, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that so much. And then Court, I wanted to read this. She says, my only concern with Wade is that it's going to bring more attention and he's going to end up getting more money, even possibly from people in our group, because I hate to say it, but he is gorgeous. I understand that because there is an element of, just like with Leticia, when you're covering some of these people, you are bringing attention to them, and you do have to kind of balance out and kind of think about what that's going to do. Um, if I don't know. I'm gonna think about it, but I definitely hear you and I understand that. And yeah, I don't find him really attractive though. Like I've heard a lot of people saying he's so attractive, and there's all these TikToks like playing this music and like I don't know, just
Yeah. Yeah,
what
I
in the
heard.
world?
I don't get it. Even without the even before, because see, when he was arrested for this crime, he didn't have those face tattoos.
Oh, he
Those
got
are
him in jail.
yeah.
Ugh.
And
Ew.
I have to say, I don't know who did them in jail, but they're actually not. I mean, the quality. I'm not talking about what he got done. I'm talking about the quality. It doesn't look like a pick and poke. They
Oh, I
actually,
was muted
yeah,
and talking. I'm sorry.
that's all right. They don't,
I
they,
agree.
so I was kind of shocked about that. The thing is with Wade Wilson, I definitely want to, we'll talk about it after we get off of here, but he, it doesn't matter what the package looks like on the outside.
Yep.
The inside is rotten.
Yeah, and no, I didn't think they looked like gel tattoos. Like I have, I because of my past, I've been around a lot of like homemade tattoos, a lot of people with gel tattoos. I've got a few. I got a smiley face on my back that's just literally two dots in in a mouth, like the
Yes.
dumbest shit ever. But I'm surprised by that. But that is so disgusting to me. Like, nah,
They, d-
that's how
I
you
guess,
get all the diseases.
yeah, Kimberly, I'm not saying like they're tattoo art, like they're professional, looking tattoos. It's just that they don't look like your typical
Gel
pick
tattoos,
and
no, they
poke,
don't.
you
I agree.
know?
I agree because usually they're a little more blurry and green and just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're a higher quality of jail tattoo. They're not at quality tattoos. There you go. That's what I should say.
Yeah. Janice says, why do people think just because you look good, you're a wonderful human? And Janice, this is something I've told my kids multiple times. Monsters don't always look like monsters. You know what I mean? Sometimes a person, even for instance, like that would steal a child or something like that, they might look friendly and nice and handsome or beautiful if they're a woman, whatever. And, I think people really need, especially kids and people that are
Hmm.
more, I don't know, like easy, like could be fall victim to that, need to understand that just because you look pretty don't mean that your insides are pretty.
Exactly, which is where it matters the most. They did a study with kids. They took, I think, 5-year olds, and they had one. It was the same woman, and she was a very pretty woman. And then they dressed her and gave added weight to her and gave her some like aged her and gave her some like facial features that would not be considered conventionally pretty. And even though it was the exact same woman who taught the exact same way, said the exact same things, did the exact same things, when they pulled those kids out, the person that they liked better was the more attractive person.
Wow, that's crazy.
Hmm.
That is so scary and just crazy. And you guys, maybe I will pass it. I don't know. I need to look at it and I'll do that, in my free time. Maybe it'll be something I just look at on my own, just out of curiosity. But
Yeah, I'm torn as well. I did not think that he would get the kind of attention that he is getting. This is why I'm not judging anybody that is a TikTok true crimer. I'm not judging people who watch TikTok true crime. But what I have found is, for me, I am not a fan of TikToks for true crime. I think because TikTok is set up the way that it is, you can have longer videos, but really the videos that are the most successful are extremely short, and I find that to be part of the problem. Is
yeah,
that
it
there
is
isn't enough time to tell
all
the
the
accurate story. You don't have to tell all the details, just the main details, and most of the it's not enough. And so it's
Well,
quite a lawless place.
I started on TikTok with true crime, and I will tell you, it was different place. There wasn't like TikTok lives and all the kind of stuff that's going on now. I really didn't even see a lot of true crime videos. I could never fit it into one video. This before they made longer videos. So I'd have like 3-part, and it was very hard. So like I would find a case that was usually closed ones that I would want to talk about. And I would have to like outline the biggest points, you know what I mean, that I definitely wanted to mention. And I kind of wrote that down and then went with that. And the only reason I did that was because I was so nervous to film myself that like the short videos made it easier. I felt like I could do that quickly and deal with the anxiety. Sorry. And, it just because of that, like out of nervousness. But now it has become crazy. Here's the thing though. People get away with so much over there, and my account is 1 strike away from being taken down. I've never pumped out a ton of misinformation and stuff like that. After I had a few videos go like kind of viral, like get like 1 million views, then I had like several claims. And now if I get one more, my account's gone. So I don't know how people get away with it. I really don't.
They make another one. That's the thing about TikTok is that once an account has been removed, it's not like YouTube, where YouTube is like, when we have banned you, when you will become a banned creator, can you make more? Obviously you can, but they will find you fairly quickly. Where on the Tickety Talks, they really don't enforce that in the same way that YouTube does.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm just glad you came on with me tonight. I was like, if you were going to go live, then I would have waited to go over her stuff. I want to see you get to go live soon. It's hard to find the time. Like, it's at the point where, and I was telling Jen this earlier, you guys, like we always try to, especially Jen, Melissa, and I, we really try to watch out for each other, Amber as well. But, there are certain times that we can do it. And sometimes we avoid going live because we don't want to go over other people. And sometimes we're going to have to just go over other people. It's just the way that it is, or we're just going to be sitting back and not able to do it. So it's just hard to find the perfect time to do it. When my kids are back in school, I'm going to be doing more daytime lives. I think that'll make it easier a little bit, but yeah. So anyways, I hope to see you going live more. I miss your lives. I know other people do too. And yeah.
Oh, thank you. Well, I miss you going live.
Well, here we are.
I know.
No, I do miss going live more, like doing other cases and like the true crime news and stuff like that. But I don't know, like these days, sometimes it's so toxic on here. I don't know. It makes it hard to.
It does. When it makes you feel like, am I contributing in some way to this?
Yes, exactly. You're like, wait a minute. It makes you question true crime content altogether.
Right.
Even though it shouldn't, because a lot of times the bullshit, there's a lot of channels that don't do that and do just deal with facts and are very respectful. And there's a lot of channels that aren't, but you're so right, because when you start looking at some of the awful things happening with some of these cases and all the drama and everything, you're like, well, damn, like, what am I doing? And am I doing the same thing just in a different way?
Yes. I mean, I will say when Allie and I were accused of, how was it put, Allie, with the Stauch calls? How was that? That
we had been asked to stop or something?
Yes, that we had been asked to stop by the parents, and that we continued on, that we were exploiting Gannon and the case. Allie and I, it's not like we sat there and were like immediately defensive. No, we're not. We I know because she and I talked about it. We both sat back and thought about, was that,
Yeah.
was this something that was said and we missed it somehow?
Yeah.
And we didn't. We went and looked. I went and looked to make sure. And then I went back and reported to Allie. No, Al was talking about a very specific instance. And that's when those autopsy photos, we don't need to relive that again. But we do think about it. Are we bringing Leticia attention in a way where she can somehow benefit off of it? That's why I'm torn between on doing the Gypsy Rose content, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day whether the attention she gets is positive or negative. TikTok does not recognize that, because that's where she makes her money. So if you're over there, if you're watching TikTok, any creator on TikTok, but you don't like the creator that you're watching on TikTok, TikTok can't tell the difference between the people who are there watching because they are fans and the people who are there watching because they dislike the creator. They can't tell the difference. TikTok doesn't. All they count is the views. And I don't want to be part of helping somebody who plotted the murder of her mother make money off of the murder of her money, because of the murder of her mother. Because let's face it, that's the only reason why Gypsy is infamous at all. She has, if she has a talent, I haven't seen it. I'm not saying that she doesn't, but the whole reason she got the prison confessions, the life after lockup, is all because of her crime. That's it. That's it.
True. That's 100% true. I got to read you a couple comments. They are freaking sweet. Thank you, Gemini Crime Online. I appreciate that so much.
Thank you so much.
She said, you two ladies are not toxic in any way. You bring laughter and joy, but also education. Do not change. You are not exploitive. And then Janice says, you ladies bring it to a human level. You also help us to deal with these people that live among us. Natasha said, oh my gosh, this is sweet. Molly trolleys, don't pay them any mind. That's exactly what they're after. Just my 2 cents, ladies, but you're exactly who I'd want sticking up for my loved one.
Oh, wow. That means a lot.
I know. Emma says, unless they reach out to you, take it with a grain of salt. Kimberly, I love that you ladies took the time to question yourself. That speaks volumes. You guys mean so much to me. You are just so sweet, and I just appreciate you guys so much. We are all here because we're interested in the psychology of criminal minds. Exactly. Your 2 channels and NJs are so refreshing. No drama, not toxic at all. That's why we come here.
Oh, well, you guys, thank you. You guys helped us with that. Like,
yep.
I don't care what anybody says. These chats, mine, Allie's, Melissa's, are the best chats on YouTube. Really.
I agree 100%. And it's because of you guys. I think about this all the time, but it's crazy that and I'm not talking about Jen, just me specifically. I feel like my chat, I'm the one sitting here talking about this stuff, right? But my chat is so much more educated, funny, smart. You guys are just the bomb. You really are.
I do live for y'all's comments. I really do, especially the one. I love your insight, and I also love your humor, the one-liners. They really do,
Yes, they really do. During the calls and stuff, oh my gosh, just funny. Hey, Jay, I can't believe you've been a member for 19 months, and thank you so much.
It's good to see you, Jay. Haven't seen you in a while, bud.
You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you for everything. Debbie says, last night, unsubbed to every channel in this whole circle except 5. I'm done with the fighting, name calling, playing favorites. Oh my gosh, it's been a lot. Yeah, and the worst part is a lot of times it's surrounding different cases. And man, it's not cool to have all that drama surrounding these people who are going through the worst tragedies or experiences of their lives. There are so many things that we can be dramatic about and watch drama about. And I will try to do that. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to go watch makeup videos or, celebrity drama or something like that. Because when it's drama attached to a missing or murdered child or missing or murdered adult. It just hurts in a different way.
It does. It does. I have been watching. Well, I'm. It's going to be so long. There's going to be a season 3 of House of the Dragon, but it's going to be like 2 years from now. And so I'm kind of trying to like pace out the second season, because otherwise I'm going to be so angry waiting for 2 years. So I've been watching that. I've been catching some documentaries on HBO Max and Netflix that I want to talk to you guys about. And so I've been trying to just watch other things. I am watching Cobra Kai because it's the last season ever, and I'm committed at this point. Doesn't even matter.
Well, Bentley's watching that.
Is he? See,
Yeah.
this is why me and Bentley are friends, because
Homies,
we have the same taste in shows.
That's funny. Okay, Emma D wants the Aunt Brenda smack, but first, I just want to say, Trulia, you are so sweet. She says, you ladies make these monsters and stories bearable. Never stop being you. Katie says, Bendy, no lies detective. I have horrible mental issues and y'all are a haven to dull my pain.
Aww.
Oh.
No, yeah. Lorette, I didn't see your other email. Dadgummit. Okay, I'm going to go look. I'm sorry, Lorette. You guys I want to tell you this very, very clearly. I never ignore emails. A lot of times I don't get notified of the emails. And because I tied in the blind justice one from the ward to my my YouTube, the one I use for YouTube, to my original Gmail account, because I had to upgrade to get more storage. Sometimes I don't even get notified of emails. And so I don't want anybody to think that I'm ignoring. Sometimes I just don't get them. I don't see them. And it isn't until I finally either figure out, hey, I haven't got a Gmail notification in a couple of days. Let me go check what's going on. And then I see them, or you guys will say, hey, I emailed you, bro, what the fuck? I would be like that too. I'd be like, why aren't they answering me? But it's not that. I'm usually, before I had an iPhone, I was very good at keeping up with my emails. It is Apple doesn't like Google, and that's just facts.
Yeah, you have to go in and check. And then there are so many, I might miss them because I get so many like shopping emails, this, that, like so many things that just are not important that like cover up other stuff. Okay, before we go, Lil Red was talking to the chat about her tattoo.
Okay.
And she sent me a picture, so I'm just going to show it. And then I want to show y'all one other little thing, and then I'll let you go. Bendy, right. I love when you come up with me. We got to finish those calls. I'll finish them in the morning. I know I've been awful about it. I'm so sorry.
It's all right, babe. Listen, you've had a lot on your plate, and Bentley and the kids always come first. Oh, I like that. That's pretty.
I love it. It's really pretty. I have one very similar to that, Lil Red. Let me see if I can turn my camera on. I don't know if you guys can see me. Hold on.
I can see you.
Okay. Let me see, because it's right on my arm right here. Oh. But see, it's an affinity sign.
That's pretty.
It has my friend's name in it who passed away. But yeah, kind of similar. It has a little heart. This is pretty. Wow, I got a little rash from something. But yeah, so we kind of match. All right.
I have one on the top of my foot. You guys have seen it. I showed everybody whenever we painted our nails blue for Gannon's trial.
Oh yeah, Jen has some pretty feet. You do though.
Thank you.
Okay. And then the other thing I was going to show you, look, we've had so many conversations over here about Reese's. I posted this earlier. Oh, wrong way. But look at these I found at the gas station. Oh
my God. What is that, ice cream?
No, they're Reese's. They're just huge.
Oh my, I need to get those. My husband loves Reese's. Oh, and Rope Scala's right. Yes, babe, I promise I have to get back to the Patreon. You're right. I am so sorry, babe. I'm so sorry. It's been just, but I will get back to it.
Well, yeah. I mean, tomorrow's a new day.
Yep.
I mean, hey, this is kind of funny though. I'm gonna go back to like just me for a second. Look
I
at my
like that
shirt.
nail color. What is that?
Thank you. My shirt in the picture, and then
I
I'm
know
wearing
I wasn't going to say anything because I was like, nah, but it's a good color for you.
it's just like a really comfy, like loose dress. That's
I love it.
the nails are. It's like a kind of like a green, but it has like the cat eye metallic. It's hard. It won't show up on camera. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, send me a picture. I like that color.
Okay.
I am a sucker for. Now I don't usually do my hands because for the longest time living in Florida, I didn't have a dishwasher. This house has a dishwasher. And so I just got out of the habit of doing my hands, but I always keep my feet done because it's like 25.8 trunkle weather here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
keep your
You
feet
need sandals all the time. It
up.
is comfy, little red. And Johnny, thank you. Funny, the last time I wore this dress out, my mom and I went out to lunch, and she had on a dress that was like almost identical.
Oh, I
And
love
then
that though.
when we were walking out to the car, this like older lady was wearing a dress like almost identical to all three of us.
Oh, I
I was
love
like, oh
that though.
my.
I love
Oh,
that
Michelle,
though.
I'm really out this time too. You guys know I'll sit here for like ever and say goodbye just because I like hanging out and chatting with you guys. Then Jen and I will talk for like 20 more minutes after.
Yeah, we do. We're awful.
Yeah, we were twinning, Jay. It's funny. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. Wait, I'm going to put it back on this. I'm going to let you go. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you guys tomorrow on all of the different channels that I see you guys on. If you haven't subscribed to Jen, her channel's in the description. Also, I'm going to drop her link now, and I want to drop Melissa's and Amber's because they both had lives tonight that you guys might want to check out. And yeah, thank you for everything. I appreciate you guys so much. I really, really do.
Bye,
Um,
you guys. Thank you for everything.
all right, I'm really going to end it or I'll just keep talking. All right, good night.
Bye.
Bye.